Jay Parker was born into a multi-generational satanic Illuminati family and received Monarch trauma-based mind control methodology as a child. For the first 7 years of his life, Jay was subject to satanic ritual abuse in a large cult setting. In his talk today, Jay will tell of his childhood ritual abuse without naming individuals. His focus will be on showing clinicians the whys behind satanic ritual abuse. Jay will also be speaking on recovery and healing methods for SRA survivors. He will discuss in detail new neurological and biological discoveries related to ritual abuse, and Jay will reveal a specialized holistic approach for SRA healing. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jay Parker.
Thank you all for coming out. I want to thank the organizers of Free Your Mind and whatonearthishappening.com, Mark Passio, for arranging this fine conference and getting the truth out to people so that they can be empowered in what's coming down the pike in our society, globally and both in America also. So I'm going to just jump right into it. I have a lot of material to go over, and I'm not going to delve too deeply into ritual abuse, but I'm going to give you some pointers of where you can go to get the information in detail. SRA is a dark occult system of mind control. And basically, the archaeologists today and psychologists like Eric Fromm have discovered that it goes back about 6,000 BC in the modern antediluvian time, post-diluvian time. But it's probably pre-diluvian, 10,000 plus BC in origin. Basically, in 9600 BC, the Earth went through a major physical cataclysm. 52 species of genera, species of animals, were lost in North America alone. Since that cataclysm, literally the consciousness of the human race has been in a state of shock. We are fast approaching a time where the human race is going to come out of that state of shock and back into true full consciousness. And in order for that to happen, certain manipulation systems that are in play in our world today must be brought down with the truth about who we are as a species and what we are as a community. Basically, the SRA occult, dark occult system is the opposite of natural truth. It's the opposite of natural law. It's basically the antithesis of nature. It's the big lie. It's a closed system of scarcity controlled by a few, when nature and reality is actually based on an open system where all share equally. The religious system of SRA and the dark occult is founded in mysticism. Mysticism is the religious practice where powers outside yourself control your destiny, control your life. You yourself are powerless. You are just a cog in the machine. And basically, mysticism is a total falsehood. We, in ourselves, with what we're born with naturally, have all the spiritual, mental, and emotional faculties to live an empowered, creative, positive life. The Illuminati have a caste system. The caste system is based on bloodline. It's a strict hierarchy based on bloodline. So if you're born a Rockefeller, let's say, you're already made. You're going to be one of the big powers, and basically you're going to be telling everybody else what to do. in the cult system, if the cult finds that you have particular mental or occult talents, you can move up the totem pole. But basically, in our world system today, the Illuminati bloodlines that originate in ancient Babylon control the entire system. And there's really no sharing of that bloodline. It's all amongst themselves. They breed amongst themselves to hold a particular vibrational state, and there is no moving up the ladder for Joe Schmo on the street. You can get a better life, and instead of just being a guard in the jail, you might actually be a supervisor in the jail. But basically, that's all it is. SRA is a system of physical trauma and emotional abuse with the end goal of creating a mind-controlled slave that will obey and serve the dark occultists throughout their life. You're basically, the end result is your life is stolen from you. I'm going to get into this a little bit. What happens when you're born, you're in alignment and harmony with the natural energy systems of this planet. Your synaptic pathways for the first 6 years of your life are being developed. You're in a total download mode. You cannot critically differentiate any information that's coming into you. You just keep taking it in and building up the base computer in your subconscious. And your subconscious runs 99% of your adult life. So if the first 6 years of your life you've been programmed with negativity, with lies, with mysticism, rather than the truth, what it comes down to is some of the healing methodologies that I'm going to talk about basically will give people who have been through this a way out. All right. When the neural pathways are warped by, let's say they take a cattle prod to you, in the shock of that physical attack, your body's going to release certain chemicals. Your mind and emotions are going to be in a state of total terror and fear. Those chemicals that your body releases eventually become the habitual chemicals that your body lives off of every day. Just like Pavlov's dog that salivated when it heard a bell ring, thinking it was going to be fed. The Monarch mind control system is just Pavlov's dog on steroids. It takes years to mind control someone, and it's extremely systematic. It's been going on for thousands of years, and these people who do this, the 10% of the world population who are old religion, who are ancient occult generational Satanists, everyone goes through this system. Whether you're a simple mechanic who was born into a satanic family, or whether you're a banker and your name is Rockefeller, all go through the system to warp their synaptic pathways so that the energy they broadcast out of their heart and mind and the energy they receive is the antithesis of nature. And it's totally negative, and that's why we're in the situation we are in this world. When the synaptic pathways are rerouted, it forms habitual chemical patterning. And so basically, years after you've been programmed as a monarch slave, you will suffer depression at certain times of the moon cycle. there'll be certain rituals that will be done over and over again in the first 6, 7 years of your life during certain moon cycles. So that when the moon is in that cycle and you're 15, 20, 30, 40 years old, you'll be triggered by the gravitational field to experience in your subconscious that trauma again. It's a very sophisticated system that uses everything that's in nature, whether it's gravitational fields or symbology, to continually trigger the programming so you stay in a state of obedience. All right, Kathy O'Brien is a woman who grew up in a generational satanic family in Michigan. Kathy O'Brien's story is her father was found out by the police to be a child pornographer. And so what the police did was they went to him and they said, if you will give us your daughter to train as a Monarch slave, we will let you continue your pornographic activities, and plus we'll actually help you in your business. So for her entire life, up until the time she was 30, she served the Illuminati as a Monarch mind-controlled sex slave. The circle of people that Kathy O'Brien associated with were the Clintons, the Bushes, Senator Byrd from West Virginia, various country music stars, and other international dignitaries like the President of Mexico, Mr. Madrid. She wrote a book called Transformation of America with the help of her husband, Mark Phillips, an ex-CIA agent who deprogrammed her. She has never been sued by anyone in the Illuminati or in the corrupt system we live under for what she has written about them in this book. She has written about Dick Cheney raping her repeatedly, sadistically. She has written about her daughter being raped by George W. Bush repeatedly and mind-controlled by him. She has written about the Mina cocaine scandal, where $100 million worth of cocaine was funneled through Mina, Arkansas, while Bill Clinton was governor. The book is shocking. The book is a horror story. The book is true. Many of the people that she talks about in Transformation of America, my parents knew were cult. So when Robert Byrd, who was her personal handler in the Monarch system, is mentioned in this book, I can remember my mother. Basically, when someone in the cult that my parents knew that they were involved, and they came on TV or there was some news article about them, my parents would get a spiritual kind of manifestation or energy would come off them. So I know that Robert Byrd was part of the cult because of when he was mentioned around my mother, I could see her have this knowing energy come from her, like, yeah, he's one of us. And it's the same with Gerald Ford. It's the same with just many of them. But in the book, and I recommend this book to everyone, because it will destroy your illusions that the mainstream media has given you about your leaders. It's Republicans and Democrats